It's a very snowy, gloomy day out today. Holy. We have to go for dinner too. So hopefully it doesn't snow that much. Ooh. Got my tea. How's it going? I hope that your day is going amazing. I'm in my PJs, first of all, because it's just that kind of gloomy day where I don't really feel like getting dressed. And I wanted to sit and have a chat about feeling like we have to do a certain thing when it comes to a job or expectations that society puts on us, because I have struggled with this for a very long time, and it wasn't until about 3 years ago that I was able to start letting it go. So I have a quick story, and if you follow me on Instagram, then you might have heard it before already, so you can skip it or you can listen again. It's totally up to you. And like, I'm not going to tell the entire story, but I just want to start at one of the most pivotal points of the story. So I was working at a bank. I applied because I thought that it was what I was supposed to do. I thought that it would be a good job in the eyes of everyone else around me. At the time, I was kind of working on like a side hustle, side business. I was making like body butters and body scrubs and little things like that, selling them to friends and family, but I didn't know where or if it would go anywhere at the time. Anyway, so I got the job at the bank and I worked part-time there and part-time at a pharmacy for a little while. I worked a lot. Some days I would leave at like 8 in the morning and I would get home at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, because they were right next to one another. So I could literally pick up a shift at the exact time that I was done at the other job, vice versa. Anyway, I eventually got full-time at the bank, and it wasn't something that I was enjoying, but again, I really forced myself to do it because I thought that it was what I was supposed to do. It definitely paid good at the time, and I had like a sense of pride out of it because like everyone seemed to be very proud of me. Someone would ask me what I did for a living and I would say, oh, I work at so-and-so bank, and they would be like, oh, that's amazing, like how'd you get that job, blah blah blah. And for a little while it made me feel really good until it didn't. So it was around 2017. I had been working full-time there for a year, and I was at the point that I absolutely hated it. I literally would not want to go to bed at night because I didn't want to have to get up and go to work. I started having really bad days on Sundays where I would just lay in bed and bawl my eyes out the whole day because I was dreading Monday morning. And I kept thinking, like, I can't do this for the rest of my life. How do I get up and do the same thing every day? I would literally get up, rush to get ready, leave last minute because I just didn't want to go, get there exactly on time, do all the things you had to do in the morning, and then I would sit in a chair until I had my lunch, and then I would have my lunch and come back and sit in the same chair, see the same people, do the same thing over and over and over again. And I just couldn't fathom having to do that for the rest of my life. And at that point in time is when I really started to look at the 9-to-5 job in society's eyes. And it was so frustrating to me because in high school, I grew up being told, like, you need to know what you want to do for the rest of your life. You have to pick your classes based on that. I couldn't figure it out, and because of that, I didn't go to college. I had so many friends that went to college and wasted their money because they believed that they had to pick that one job that was going to be their 9-to-5 that they stayed at forever. And I just couldn't understand why that was something that everyone was supposed to do. Like, how was I going to go to school, go to work, make money, pay bills, and then die? Like, literally, that is the life that I was taught was like the life to have in school and from a lot of people around me. Like, I still have a lot of people in my life today that believe a 9 to 5 is the only answer. And even though I run a company and I help other people build their businesses, I will get messages from them being like, hey, there's a job posting here if you're interested. Anyway, got off topic a little bit. So I was miserable. I hated every second of my day, but I didn't know how to change it. And so I started getting very depressed, and I got to the point that my whole body just shut down. My mind, my thoughts, my feelings, my body, all of it just shut down, turned off. I was done. And so because I didn't listen to what my soul was telling me, what I was feeling, I was absolutely forced to take a break. And when I mean take a break, I don't mean for like a day or two. I mean, it took me a good 6 months to feel like myself again. And it was the hardest 6 months that I've ever had to go through in my life. I spent a lot of them on the couch crying, not understanding why I couldn't just be a normal person. I felt bad. I felt like a burden. And it's literally all because I was taught that I had to find a job, a 9 to 5, that I needed to go to forever. And I just think that that is such a toxic, poisonous way to think, because we're not all the same. We all have different things that light us up. We have different things we care about. My mom, for example, works a 9 to 5. She has for the past 13 years. She loves it. I joke that she's like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, because she wants a very scheduled routine every day. She thrives in a routine. And my dad, on the other hand, has been self-employed his entire life. He's built many different businesses, tried different paths, changed his mind. And so for society to say that both of those people need to do the exact same thing is just not possible. And it has been a little while since I've been in school, so I really don't know if they're still teaching the same thing that I was taught. But I just wanted to be here and make this video, and I talk about this all the time on my social media because I think it's so important to avoid the burnout, avoid how sick I got. And it's easy to avoid, really. Like, if we tell everybody that they legitimately can do whatever it is they want to do, people would be so much happier. And I know it's a huge mindset thing. Like, a lot of it starts with mindset. I had to hire a coach and go through a lot of mindset coaching to let that idea go. I even had a successful business and had quit my job and still believed that I probably wasn't doing the right thing because I didn't wake up at a certain time every day and quit work at a certain time every day and go to bed at a certain time every day. And it took me a long time to accept that I don't thrive with a routine. Like, I was always made fun of for not being the person that got up early to do things or go to work or whatever it was. People still make fun of me because sometimes I don't get up until 9 or 10 in the morning. I love that I make my own schedule now. I love that I can change my mind anytime that I want to. And I just wish that people knew that they had that option, because the other option, like I said, is really not an option for everybody. And it did take me a long time to get there. Like, I went through about 3 businesses, a rebrand, before I was able to create something that truly allowed me the freedom that I craved. So I do recognize that saying it isn't as easy as doing it, but I think the first step definitely has to be believing that it's true, believing that you can do it, that you have the option. I've been self-employed now since the middle of 2020, and before that, I worked for about 10 years at jobs that I did not like, jobs that I thought that I had to work at, jobs that I dedicated a lot of myself to because I was stuck in that mentality and that type of survival mode. Anyway, the point of this rambling on, kind of getting off track video, is that I just want anyone watching right now, if you are watching, you're working a job that you hate, you have been taught that you have to work a job for the rest of your life, you have to get up at a certain time, go to work at a certain time, come home at a certain time. I want you to know that that is not true. That is a story that we have been taught as young kids, and it is not just the lucky ones, just the people that have money that get to choose to do otherwise. You can wake up tomorrow and choose to change that path. Even if it's a small step, a tiny step, minuscule step, you absolutely have the option to do something that you love, to be self-employed, to do whatever it is that lights you up, that you feel aligned to do. And it's also okay if the people around you don't understand it, because they don't need to. I just want you to know that if I can do it, then anybody can do it, because I was very much deep in that mindset, and once I got out, it literally changed my life. I will probably sit down and share the entire story when I'm feeling more in the mood, because I did go through a lot of specific moments that changed my life and changed the way that I thought. And I definitely want to sit down and go over how a coach changed my life, because I feel like there's a stigma or like a bad rap with life coaches or mindset mentors. And from my personal experience, I would not be where I am today without one. But for now, I just want to say thank you for being here. I want to say that I believe in you and I support you in whatever it is that you choose to do. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys.